It's New Beer Thursday!
Woo!
And we're sticking around the Midwest this week.
We are. It's been like Midwest Fest.
Are you sure we're in the Midwest? Are you sure?
Yes, Missouri is in the Midwest.
I
Also,
thought Missouri
South.
was
This
south.
is no, because it goes South Dakota, then southeast of that is Iowa, and then southeast of that is St. Louis.
Oh, now you're an authority.
I was an authority before. I knew exactly where Montana was. I just didn't realize that they considered that the West.
Yeah, you're never gonna hear the end of that.
No, I'm not.
Really.
So,
Yeah.
but I did get like somebody emailed me and they're like, "Oh, so what's up with the love of the Midwest these days?" And honestly, it has to do.
Jesus.
I know you can't do anything right for these people, right? Everybody's bitching about something. Like, "Wow, you're all West Coast centric."
Yeah, you guys live there from Alaska.
In his defense, he wasn't upset about it. It was more like, "I have some Midwestern beers that I can send you as well." So that was nice of him. Yeah. But the point is that we are doing these beers because they've been sent to us, and in this case, it was hand delivered by one of the sexiest men on the planet, my boyfriend. Hello. He's in town, and so he brought me some beers.
You gonna open it or what? Wait,
Maybe, and I'm drinking it myself. This week I'm on my own. See you see what I'm doing here?
We're yeah, that's nice. We are drinking beer from Hands Brewing Company today.
Oh yeah, I didn't even mention their name.
Yeah,
did I?
no, you didn't.
So what beer is this?
Oh, this is Contact High. This is a wheat beer.
Yeah, it's a wheat beer, but it's a hoppy wheat beer, and they actually dry zest it, orange zest,
Dry peeled it?
dry peeled,
it.
So cheers.
Cheers.
Dry piffed it?
And cheers to Cad.
Thank you, Cad.
Over there. Oh, that's lovely.
That does smell good.
You know what this needs? A slice of orange.
No.
Just kidding.
Bill will be calling you now. You realize that. You will get a phone call for that.
Yeah, you're gonna be hearing about that.
He's going to drive by your house when you're out front doing your lawn. He's going to throw orange peels at your face.
Wow, that's so violent.
It was a drive-by fruiting.
Oh.
All right. I'm not a huge, I like wheat beers for what they are. They're not a beer style that I go to for a lot for drinking. But I really, really, really like the flavor on this.
It's really nice. It doesn't have the ABV on it, from what I can.
It's got a nice,
tell.
you can get that yeast character in there. The orange zest comes through, obviously, on the aroma. And I don't know if it's or if it's, as far as hops go, if it's bittered more, or it's just
I think
maybe
it's more
the pith from the...
Yeah, the pith is going to give it a little bit of bitterness, a little bit of like tannic kind of quality. And I mean, you are going to get a little bit of alpha from dry hopping. I mean, it's not going to be, super noticeable.
No, I'm not talking dry hopping. I'm talking the dry peeling.
zesting.
Oh, the dry zesting, yeah.
Zesty times 2.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not saying that the dry hopping would add a significant amount of bitterness, but I just get a little bit of...
There's a little bit of that, like, on the back of the tongue, that kind of, like, thing, you know what I mean?
Well, I'm wondering if they hopped this beer in the mash as well to get that little extra bit of bitterness. Because this does come off to me as being...
in the mash?
Sorry, in the boil. I don't know why I said mash.
Well, of course they hopped it in the boil.
Well, I mean, hopped it more than normal for a wheat beer.
So it did more
That's
like
what my question was.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's like, because I get a little bit more of an IPA feel
wheat
off
IPA
this.
kind of thing. Yeah, I agree.
That's what I was going
Almost like
with.
an IPW. Is that a thing?
Sure. But I don't know if that's because of, we were saying, if they over-hopped it for a wheat beer, or you're getting a bitter... Because if you use the zest, which is just the skin, then you'll get that... You'll get the
Massive.
orange and zest. But if you use the whole peel with the pith and everything, the pith is bitter.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if it's hops or the pith.
Yeah, I think I'm assuming they use zest, because they specify the zest on here, but
People call zest different things.
Yeah, that's true. Or even if they were like zesting, I'm actually wondering, because I actually just did a beer where I used zest, and I zested that shit by hand. That sucked a lot. So I'm wondering if they have like some kind of, if they did it mechanically somehow, or if they just...
I think
because if you did it by hand, I mean, you can actually get a pretty significant amount of the pith out of there, just, because it hurts after a while.
You definitely get that citrusy orange.
Now,
it's really dry for a wheat beer too, I think.
Do commercial brewers have access to basically just zesty ingredients? Not zesty, but you know what I'm saying. Like
Ingredients are quite zesty.
I want orange zest in my beer, but I don't want to zest them by hand because I'm not Matt.
Yeah,
but can you buy that?
Buy dried zest.
But in quantities large enough for a commercial brewer?
Sure, yeah.
Because I know they sell it for home brewers, but I mean, that's like, I'm not going to get 2 ounces of zest and brew a huge batch of beer.
Oh yeah, you definitely can, but that's also peel, so that's a little bit different. If you're using zest, I would imagine that like they had some kind of like mechanical setup, like I don't know, like a zester on a lathe or something. So you can just go on the oranges.
These are facts which don't matter at this point.
Yeah.
I think.
No, I know.
But,
It's interesting because the zest does play predominantly in this beer. So
I think our main question.
they did it really well. I mean, I think it came out. Yeah, I think it came out really well. I think the hops play
really
nicely
nice.
on it.
It's got a nice head. It's still hanging around for you know.
But I do think that the extra bitterness from the hops is a bit confusing with the zest, the orange zest. It does kind of play a little bit strangely into that, but it doesn't negatively impact the beer, in my opinion.
A nice mouthfeel on this too, as far as
It's fluffy.
yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I'd like to know which yeast they use in this too. That'd be interesting to. If it was just like a wheat beer made with cal ale yeast
something like that, yeah, which is pretty common. Well, yeah, I mean, usually if they do that, then it's if they're using like hef yeast or something like that, they'll specify hef. You know.
I guess so. Yeah.
Oh, look, I'm out of beer. So we're going to go do a different one.
That was a
See you in a
transition.
minute.
And yeah,
And we're back. And I think on the transition back, I do want to mention the logo for Hands Brewing Company. We need to speak about this
We
just a
do.
little bit.
We do.
This logo does kind of fire up nightmares for me in my brain.
Yeah,
like I'm gonna have dreams about this like hop hand that's attacking me.
that's a really cool logo.
It's like a zombie hop
It's
hand.
cool, but it's kind of creepy.
It's kinda creepy.
It gives me like a kind of. It reminds me of like a Cronenberg. Like,
It reminds me of like hell.
weird, freaky.
You know, where
Hell.
like hands are.
Yeah,
Well, and
exactly.
what makes it more creepy is that, as we've been told by unreliable sources, but cute unreliable sources as they are, that the four hands represent the family that started the brewery. Their husband and wife and 2 kids.
Yeah.
So the family's creepy too.
Yeah. So no offense to the family. I'm sure you're not creepy. I'm sure you're wonderful people.
I'm not gonna
but
lie.
like, explain this to us because I don't really know. And I looked on your website and there's no information about like where this comes
I
from.
really think the hands looking creepy was not
Intentional.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think the family thing is so creepy. I mean, if
It's not.
If the kids were like, like 6 and working in the brewery, then yeah, that would not be good. But
Well, child labor laws, alcohol
kids
laws.
are like 22. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Wow,
look,
wow. Look at that.
So what beer is this?
This is Divided Rye.
Divided Sky Rye.
Divided Sky Rye.
IPA. So this is a rye IPA, which, as you may know, may be one of my favorite of the IPA family. So cheers.
That smells good.
I think rye just does so many wonderful things to a beer.
It's got like a nice rye.
The rye really pops.
Smells good.
Like, the rye really pops on this. And it's funny because rye IPAs are interesting because you can either go in the direction of you have an IPA with a little bit of that rye kind of on top of it, adding a little bit of like extra goodness, or like Sierra Nevada's Ruthless Rye is a great example of this, where they will choose hops specifically to accent the rye. And so you have a beer like that, or even like this one, where the rye really, really pops. It might not even just be the rye itself, it could be the hop choice that they use.
Ruthless Rye is such
Well, this is what, Centennial and Cascade?
No, Columbus and Cascade.
Is it Columbus?
And Centennial.
Okay.
That are seeing it
Centennial,
up.
Columbus, and Cascade.
All right, so I
The
missed
3
Columbus.
Cs.
Yeah,
They're all good
Cs.
bittering hops. But
They are.
In this case, they used
All hops that start with a C are bittering hops, according to this home brewer.
That was a joke.
No, this kind of reminds me of a bigger version of our anniversary beer. So the Alpha Supreme.
Yeah.
No, I disagree. Because Alpha Supreme is a Nelson beer, so it's like more like tropical.
Yeah, that one's way more hoppy.
But it's got rye in it.
Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
talking about the rye
so
notes.
all the beers are identical when they have rye in them.
This has a really...
I'm going to cut you with this later.
Hey, come on. This has a really nice malt character to it.
It does, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's a nice...
It's very well
compared to
balanced.
this was, I think... I'm just going to say it was hoppy.
Yeah.
It was bitter. I mean... And it was good, but the maltiness definitely shines as compared to this.
But it still has a really nice, like, citrus, like floral, hop pop to the nose.
Oh, yeah.
Right, a lot of grapefruit, a lot of...
It blends really well with that rye, I think.
Yeah, rye really does essentially make everything better, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah. It's sort of like oatmeal.
Yeah, true. You put oatmeal in pretty much any beer to make it better.
Yeah.
Even an IPA, as John proved. Which
Yeah. Well,
I did not
actually,
believe at first.
actually Lee Chase proved that. John just kind of
Copied
made
it.
it better.
Well, I never had Lee
make it better?
Chase's version, so.
No, his version's good.
I love you, Lee Chase. I really do. And I loved the Will
Yeah,
Ferrell
he
beer.
was only the head brewer of Stone Brewing Company.
Yeah.
No, he's an
But they were
amazing brewer.
only making like 20 barrels a year then, though.
But I
so.
think for beers like that, and this is going to be controversial, and I'll probably get yelled at, but I think for beers like that, it's almost easier to make a better version of them on a homebrew scale than it is a commercial scale.
Well, maybe, but as far as this beer goes, come on, let's stay on track here.
I was just doing my face. My
face.
my I disagree face. The thing. You know.
As far as this
That's not
beer
a thing.
goes,
No one knows
I
about
mean,
that.
I do it all the time.
I just can't
I know.
I can't, like-
Sorry.
pull the reins.
Well, the two of us. We.
Whoa.
Whoa, little doggies. Okay, yes, no, Four Hands, they are a really good brewery, apparently. So
This is really great. Yeah,
I'm
the two
impressed
beers-
with what I've seen.
really
I mean,
nice.
this has a really nice mouthfeel, I guess. You know, I mean,
It's pretty high on the carbonation. That's if I was going to have a complaint, I would say turn it down a bit.
No, I like the carbonation, actually.
Well, you're stupid.
I mean,
Shut up.
wow, that
Yeah.
just happened. I think the carbonation of the beer we had last week was far more aggressive and slightly offensive than this beer.
I like how you're offended by the carbonation level. That's.
Well, that it really detracts from the mouthfeel.
sir.
How?
However, I will be out in St. Louis in July, so if there are any fans in St. Louis, aside from the one guy that I know watches the show, at least he tells me he does. But no, I'm going to be out there, and so I'm going to visit Four Hands as well as Schlafly.
Schlafly. That'd be
I call it
awesome.
Fly.
Slave fly.
I don't know.
And they just opened a Flying Saucer, so I'm looking forward to that as well.
Flying saucer?
Flying Saucer is like Yard House, but with better turnover, and so fresher and more delicious craft beer.
Yard House is still good though.
Yeah, no, I'm not that negative about Yard House, but I mean, Flying Saucer is like the actual craft version of Yard House.
Yard House is still good though. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see what you're
That's
saying.
exciting.
Yes.
Cool.
So I'm looking forward to that, as well as possibly taking a tour of the Budweiser brewery.
I would do that. Honestly.
Dude, I think
I
that's
definitely,
amazing.
yeah, I definitely want to do that.
Yeah,
So.
just I mean, it's just to witness, because the thing is I mean, say what you will about Anheuser-Busch, but on a technical level, a purely
Yeah, how they
technical
brew
level,
is
it
not
a-
bad.
It
They
is
are-
a feat to behold.
Yeah,
It really is. It's a sight to behold.
Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch brewers are some of the most technically perfect brewers in
Well,
the world.
that's where Mitch Steele came from.
Exactly,
Right,
but
Mitch
still,
Steele,
I mean,
and-
a lot of them go to craft.
The
actually,
problem is not their technique. Their problem is their recipe, which whatevs.
and their advertising and their
And,
business
yeah.
practices and a couple other things.
and their monopolistic attitudes. But whatever. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna take some pictures.
I like how we had to
Amazing.
like, yeah. But you have a great brewing.
But their
exactly.
brewing operation's awesome.
Well, but that's the thing that we have to do is like the brewers are great, but fuck them besides that. So
No, I think when we were on the show, when Brian Brushwood was on the show, and he's like, "So you guys are against union workers?"
Sounds like I hate you because I have no response to that right now.
I was like, "No, I'm not. I'm not."
So yeah. Anyway, we don't have a ton of events coming up right now, do
we
we?
really don't know. I mean, we've got
Nothing.
Oh, you know what?
Really.
Brewgrass.
That's true. The Brewgrass Festival is coming up June 27th. It's the last Saturday in June. It's
Packing
beer
House.
Yeah,
Packing House.
beer and bluegrass festival that we got going on at Packing House. It should be a lot of fun.
So
So it's
come up
actually
for
an
that.
invitational too. We've got about 20 other breweries, mostly from Inland
Where are
Empire,
you
Southern
gonna fit
California
all of
coming.
those people?
In the parking lot where we're
Again?
having it? Yeah. It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
So looking forward because the last one, the Brew with a View, had what, 2,000 people,
So, throughout the whole day, yeah.
and that was just your guys' beer. You
Yeah.
throw 20 more breweries in there. That's where I'm wondering where are you gonna put booths for breweries?
It'll
all over the
it'll
place
work
because it'll be awesome.
Work. They just doubled their.
If you want to see how this awkwardness is gonna plan out,
Why is it on? Can we end the show?
He's a judger.
I am a
He's
judger.
just judging.
I judge people.
So that's coming up.
So
And-
okay, as always, thank you for watching, and
Thank you,
until next
Cad,
week,
for the
thank
beer.
you, Cad.
Good.
Stay safe and drink beer.
You just do kissing voices.
Awkward. That was awkward.